Welcome to the Better Than Yesterday Everyday Podcast, where we cover anything related to behavior change that will increase your long-term wellness and happiness. And now, here are your hosts, personal trainer and RNs, Matt and Jenna Lane.
What's happening, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Better Than Yesterday Everyday Podcast. My name's Matt.
And I'm Jenna.
We run this podcast, the Better Than Yesterday Everyday Podcast, where we're implementing behavior change for your long-term wellness and happiness. And today, we have a very, very special man on, Mr. Colt Walden.
Hello.
What's up, good sir? Thanks for being here, seriously.
Thank y'all, man. I've been looking forward to this.
Seriously, I appreciate you. I've known Colt for, how long? At least 10 years.
Yeah. I mean, we would go back to, sophomore and freshman year in high school.
Yeah.
Wrestling.
Yeah.
Long time.
Yeah.
Longer than 10 years then.
Yeah.
I've been out of school for 10 years. More than 10 years.
At least 12 or 13 years, actually.
Yeah.
So Colt was the captain of my wrestling team in high school. We lost touch, sort of went our different ways, just life happened. Sort of reconvened later on down the road. And you've been my barber for, how long you been out of school now?
Well, let's see. I just hit 3.5 years, so probably 4 years.
Yeah.
You know, 4 or 5 years.
Yep, that sounds about right.
And thank goodness for you.
Thank you.
If you don't know me, I love to change my look. Colt knows that. I change it very often. I actually drastically changed it not long ago, cut my beard off. He was not happy about it, but yeah.
Without telling me to. That
Yeah,
was the bad.
I know.
You should at least let me do it.
I felt bad about it. I really did. Before we dive into this bad boy, we're going to hit you with our
Gratitude point.
It's a point that we make, just a gratitude piece. Could be big, could be small. It gives beautiful perspective. It gives beautiful perspective in just realizing that whatever time you're down, if you think things are terrible, just pick something, and I encourage you to do it right now. Think of something that you're grateful for, and it could shift your focus. Jenna, you're going first.
All right. So I may steal yours. I don't know. This is kind of a double gratitude point. One, I'm going to talk about your positive self-talk that you've been focusing on. So my wonderful husband has taped these notes to himself all over the house. And they're very positive affirmations. And they're specifically geared toward being more positive minded, building self-confidence, and really just, channeling that positivity. And the great thing is that I can be just totally a bystander and get that positivity as well.
Okay.
So.
I did not think of that. I was selfishly only thinking of myself. So
yeah, I mean, I know that's your thing, but I see it too. And it's helped with my positivity too. So
good.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. It's something I'm testing out. I actually thought of something. I'm very happy for soap. A very small thing. I'm very happy for soap.
I think we can all say that.
Well, because every time I leave the gym, lifted with Josh Kirsch today, love you, bro. I wash my hands every single time I'm done because the gym is a disgusting place. And I just thought about, way back in the day before soap was a thing, before washing hands, which was in the mid-70s in healthcare. Wasn't it like early 70s?
Sure.
I'm pretty sure it was in the 70s. That's when they started washing hands, and like mortality rate and infection and all that decreased so rapidly. But I'm just happy for soap. Yeah, that's it.
Cleanliness is next to godliness.
There you go.
If you have one, bro, hit us with it. If not,
I was thinking about that today, actually, while I was listening to...
Okay, so he came prepared.
Yeah, I did. I was thinking about it. I've been listening to the podcast, so I was trying to get an idea of what I was in for and everything. The kookiness of Matt Lane. Change, honestly, man.
Okay.
There's been a lot of change over the last probably 5 years of life for me, so I was thinking about that long and hard on the car ride home, or to work, this morning, and that was like the biggest thing that stuck out to me was there's been so much change, but all the change that has come within these past 5 years of my life have been amazing in my point of view. So change is
Awesome.
my gratitude.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, it's well deserved. You worked your ass off.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you truly have. Also, move the mic closer to you. No, you move, like pull that bad boy. Get it there. You go. There you get all up in it. There you go.
Oh my.
So I wanted to have Colt on because he's gone into a trade and absolutely crushed the market here in Pensacola. I believe that he has the best haircut and service in Pensacola. I don't have him on because he is a good friend of mine. I don't have him on because he is just my barber. I have him on because I believe he brings true value. You know how you probably have a barber and you have those conversations with your barber that you've never had with anyone else. Jesus Christ, this man has listened to so much from me, and we have vibed on so many different things. I've had so many light bulbs from him and vice versa. I wanted to bring him on here because he is just an embodiment of someone that has worked his ass off, and he's put out good the entire time, and he's getting good back, and it's so awesome to see. So I guess first start and talk about, how did you become a barber? Why?
Man, the biggest reason was I was kind of fed up with what I was doing previously, which was working for a local company here, a local pool store, and loved the company, loved who I worked for, didn't care too much about what I was doing.
Okay. So did you like clean pools? Or?
No, I worked in like the retail area.
Got it.
I was there for roughly 10 years right out of high school, and then kind of worked my way up the ladder and essentially became like the right-hand man of the vice president. So I helped her.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I helped her run like the 5 retail locations that they had. And that ranged from Foley all the way to Crestview. And so just day-to-day operations, buying and selling, stockings,
Okay.
all that type of stuff.
Got it.
And like I said, enjoyed the company. It was a very good company. They treated me very well, but it was also at the point of, this is about as high as I'm going to be able to go to in the company.
Okay.
So I was kind of in a point of, what do I do now? I didn't have any education, honestly. I didn't get my AA. I didn't get nothing.
Now, when you say went as high as you could, do you mean financially or do you mean fulfilled?
Financially and like position wise.
Okay.
This was about the highest that I was going to be able to get.
Okay.
It was a family ran company. So pretty much family's going to be at the top. And I was the next level down from family.
Right.
So that was like it. I saw I hit the ceiling at the company. And like I said, I was just kind of getting fed up with, I wasn't enjoying what I was doing anymore.
Okay.
And so that was the biggest point too.
That's a biggie.
Yeah. Was not enjoying, I pretty much hated going to work.
Okay. Not fulfilled at all.
At all, yeah. And so I was kind of like searching around, what should I do? What can I do? Like I said, had no education. I basically stopped going to school. I was, at PJC and doing the general AA type of stuff. And I was like, I stopped doing that because I, at that point in my early young 20s, thought this would be my career in the long run. And then as, I started getting in the mid 20s and everything like that, I was like, well, no, you idiot. This is as far as you can go. And so since I had no educational background or anything like that, I was like, I need to find something that I need to do. But at that point in time, like I was already set in a point to where I was financially comfortable with what I was making. So taking a step backwards was not very smart in my eyes. So leading up to that, that's at that point in time, leading up to that years earlier, high school and in early college, I had cut hair for friends and everything like that. The backyard, front porch, garage style barber, as we all have at one point in our life. So I loved cutting hair. I cut my hair and friends' hair still at that point, but never saw that as a career because, of course, you think of a barber, you don't think of financially wealthy or at any point. You just,
Yeah, it's a trade. Most people will look at it. It's a trade.
You make ends meet, and, and that's at that, also, I didn't think that was what I wanted to do as far as financially wise. I knew I loved it, but the financial side of it was not quite there for me at that point in time.
Why do you think you loved it? Sorry to sidetrack you.
It was very, oh man, that one goes super deep. Yeah. Okay. So if you can tell within the camera, my hair is very curly.
Yes.
Growing up, curly was not cool at all. I wanted straight hair so bad. Like my brother had straight hair. He had the cool haircuts. I didn't. I tried to have cool haircuts and they failed horribly.
Wow.
I will never forget in elementary school when the part down the middle was the style.
Yep, I remember. I did it.
Cody, my older brother, was able to do it flawlessly because he has perfect hair. And I tried to do it, and I used probably half a gallon of glue to part it.
Glue?
Hair glue.
Okay, I thought that meant literal glue.
I mean, I wasn't far off from using that, trust me. And by the end of the day, this was like third grade, and by the end of the day, what was a nice parted hair at the beginning of the day ended up being horns that curled in and created like a heart. So curly hair, and I was very insecure about my hair.
Okay.
And
I've never known this.
yes, so that was like a big thing because I almost channeled the insecurity I had in my hair into other people, because if I could make their hair look good, because I mean, what is the one thing that you usually look at people, men and women, hairstyle is first, clothes is next, shoes, and then everything else falls in line. Okay, because that's in your point of view. That's your eye line.
Right.
Is their hair
Top to bottom.
Yeah, if their hair is not clean looking or aesthetically looks good, then you automatically have a judgmental point of view to these people.
That's
so
true.
for me growing up and also being in elementary, middle, and high school, like those are your years that you're going to have your biggest insecurities,
Right.
and you want to fit in so much with the crowds around you. And it seemed to me that I was like the only person in school that had curly hair and everybody else had straight hair. So I was very insecure about it. So I kept it short a lot, like would buzz it.
Wow.
And so that was basically like my almost like escape from having curly hair. Because I thought in my mind, all right, and this is still true to this day, that if I can make someone else feel great about how they look, especially when we got into high school, when it was really pivotal as us like looking our best, because I would cut all the guys' hair before we'd go out to, a house party or, whatever we were doing in bonfires and stuff like that in the country.
Right.
Yes, I am from the country, guys. You might not seem it, but I am. So I thought if I could help, I got like a sense of fulfillment that I could make them feel good about themselves. So I channeled all of like that into hair and into cutting hair. And that's still true to this day. Like every time I make someone's have like a nice haircut and like leave the shop fulfilled and like happy and like almost ready to take on the world, that is the biggest reward I could ever get from cutting hair. In that point in time of like my mid-20s, that did not add up with the financial side. And so that's why I was like very hesitant on doing it. But oddly enough, my brother was like, I'm tired of being a teacher, and was like, I want to, and he was kind of the same, like he cut hair too. And low key is kind of like how I did. And
Right.
so he came to me and he's like, look, I'm going to, and my brother's kind of the ones like he likes to jump around and do things, and so he's like, I'm going to barbering school and get my barbering license. And I'm like, well, crap, dude, like I'm in this state of mind where I am physically sick feeling when I go to work now. And like, I literally wake up living to get off work. And that's not a cool feeling to anybody who is, I mean, I know y'all have finding y'all's passion in what y'all are doing. Sure. Y'all understand that, when people like are miserable at work, like it's a truly miserable state.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, well, you know what? This might be the perfect time to go. If my brother's going, why not go with him and we can do it together and we can, at that point in time, I was like, I just want to get in there. And like, I felt comfortable because I had someone to go with.
That's awesome.
Okay.
Do you think it was by chance that he chose that and now that's sort of...
No, I mean, I don't think there's, I mean, honestly, man, I think like the universe or whatever you believe in does not put like chances in your life. Like everything is set up a reason in your life to happen in that point in time in your life. I was at a point to where I was so fed up with like everything around me. I was miserable, and I was making other people miserable as well.
Wow.
That it was like, okay, here it is, and it was obviously my choice to do it or not.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if I got off.
No, I got you off track. I apologize. No, you were saying, so, you know, he was going into school, so you were following him.
Right. So I was basically following it because that was comforting to me to have someone there that was going to it as well. And so I could, you know, use that as almost like my excuse to justify it in my mind. And let's give this a try.
Sure.
You know, let's see what this is about. If it doesn't work out, well, man, I've got a license of something. Mm-hmm. I've got a trade of something that I could always kind of fall back on at the end of the day. And then when I got into school, and it was like, man, when I got off work, it was like, you know, what my day consisted of at that time was I would wake up and I'd go to work, and I have to be at work at 7:30, you know, so open the store at 8 o'clock. I'd get off around 4:30, and I'd shoot right up to the college. And
you were hustling hard. Yeah, I remember that.
From school from 5 o'clock till usually 10 o'clock at night. And that was like 4 to 5 days a week, depending on the semester.
Yeah.
So on top of working my 40-hour job, I was also doing that at night. But it was like, I am so ready to get off work, not to go home, but to go to school and go learn more about cutting hair. Like, it was just like, from the very first day of being in there, it was like, boom, this is it. This is where I'm supposed to be. And I wasn't even cutting hair at that point. Like, we were learning nothing but book stuff our first semester. Like, we didn't touch any hair until like our second semester of doing that. So just learning the book side of things was just, you know, it kept me like interested. It kept me like going and fueling and everything like that. And, you know, after that, it was just like, this is what I was meant to do. This is what fulfills me in life, is cutting hair. And at that point, I was like, I had heard what you can make in this industry. Yeah. And what everybody was telling me what you can make was still not nearly as much as what I was making at the pool store, which what I was making at the pool store was not great, but for someone who didn't have an education, a degree, and all that kind of stuff, and basically worked from like the ground up in that industry, it was really well. Right. And especially for a young 20-year-old too, you know, like, it was nice. I was comfortable. And so, but at that point, it didn't really matter. Like, I was wanting to do this more than just for the finance. It was like, I would figure out how to make the financial side work, because this is what I had to do.
Wow.
So
that's beautiful. I legit was tearing up over here whenever you, like, I was trying to hold it back. I'm so soft.
Well, and I think from that story, like, the most impactful thing is that focusing on your happiness.
Yeah.
The success comes, success is a byproduct.
It really is. And I mean, you know, it's the biggest cliche, well, not the biggest cliche, but it is a big cliche of, you know, if you find what you do, obviously you never work a day in your life. And that is 100% true. Yeah. I mean, I work easily 14 hours a day now.
You work some crazy hours, bro.
I work more than what I was working at the pool store, but it doesn't feel like work to me, because I am literally going in to hang out with friends, which I can say 100% of my clientele are legit friends. Yeah. And watching TV, watching sports, watching movies all day, and, you know, talking crap to everybody else, you know, in the shop. So,
last podcast was, no. The previous podcast, no, it was last podcast. Gee,
which would be the previous.
Yeah, that would be the previous, yes. Richard Becker, Josh Kirsch, he actually cuts both of them. Yes. That's how I met Josh Kirsch.
Yes, and I met Richard through you.
Yeah. It's a fun little circle.
It really is.
So I want to point this out because it's extremely pertinent. It's not just my opinion that he delivers a great service. Pensacola House of Barbers, that is now his shop. It was voted 2017, 2018 best on the coast.
Yeah, we got in 2018, we got best shop on the coast, because that's when I took over the shop, was 2018.
Okay.
I had not taken over it quite yet in 2017.
Okay.
So we got it in 2018, and we have some more stuff coming up that we're not allowed to share yet.
Okay. And also in 2018, you got Best Barber Pensacola
2018 and 2017.
And 2017.
Yeah. And then Noel, which is one of my barbers.
Your barber got runner up.
He got runner up. So
I mean,
awesome.
don't take my word for it. Okay. If you don't believe me, just go get cut. Because it absolutely is a service.
Yes. And that's I mean, not to interrupt you.
No.
That is one thing that we strive for. And when I say we, I mean we. Like, that is one thing that has been such a movement, I feel like, within the shop, is to make sure you get the same service shop wide and not just by me. Like,
right.
I was super, super stoked that we got, best of the coast as far as the shop wise. And I was happy that I got best barber, but I was even more thrilled that Noel got runner up to me, because I just thought I would honestly would have rather him win it, because I had won it the year before. So it was like, I'm ready for my other barbers to take the fame that they should be taking, because in my opinion, Noel and Ryan are top barbers in Pensacola, and that's not just because they are at the shop. That's because of what they provide, So I'm very ecstatic at what the shop is bringing in, to the table, and hopefully we'll be able to bring on a new barber at the end of the year, or
awesome.
at beginning of next year, that can provide just as much service.
Awesome. I didn't realize that. Well, and so, yeah, speak about that piece about how another big reason is, like, every time I sit down in the chair to talk to Colt, like, you guys know me. If you're still listening 21 minutes in, you know how I am, who I am. I'm a very driven person. I do want I want Jenna and I to make Matt Lane Fitness the Better Than Yesterday Everyday podcast, something that's truly going to impact some people's lives. And some people would call it an entrepreneur. I don't identify myself as an entrepreneur, but it's a very common term. You, good sir, I do identify as an entrepreneur, because when you got out of school, you were booked up, and then what it moved to be to get the shop. So explain that piece of it.
Well, yeah, I mean, that was shocking, I think, to everyone, including myself, big time to myself.
You were shocked.
Hugely shocked, trust me. But in some sense, like, I felt like I did what I needed to do to get it, but I still was very shocked that it happened as quickly as it did.
And what is it? Because they don't know.
While we were in school, we were able to do haircuts in school in our later terms. They actually run the program as a barbershop itself. So you were actually allowed to have people come up there and get their haircuts, and pay, $4 or $5 to the school to program.
And that's the time that you started cutting me.
Yeah, that was about the time. That was about the third term I started cutting you. Well, second term, like, I had already started marketing myself, because I was, like I said, I saw this was to be my career. And just coming from essentially running 5 stores for Pensacola Pools for the last, 3 or 4 years of my life until then, was I had gained some on-job experience business, which, like I said, I'm very fortunate for working for that company and being in the position I was, because I learned a lot in business that when I even took business classes at PJC, did not learn that type of knowledge from them.
I didn't realize you got that exposure from there.
Yeah, I got a lot of do's and don'ts in business from that company, which I still talk to a handful of the people that work there and everything like that, and I still tell them to this day, like, I was so ready to get out of there, but I do not regret being there one moment of my life, because I learned so much, from them. So I started marketing myself second term, letting people know that I was, starting to cut hair in the next term. Come get your hair cut. All the boys that I've been cutting up till then in high school and all that kind of stuff. Like, come on, dude. I'm trying to do this for real now, and I can actually give you, like, a proper haircut with proper tools this time. I actually have, like, a little bit of a knowledge behind it, instead of just, let's figure this out and, it'll work. I'll make it work. Yeah, you'll be all right. You'll get that girl this weekend. Don't worry, boy.
If not, I can buzz it all the way down.
Yeah,
right.
It grows back, So by the third term, like, I had, I was one of the only guys in there that was legitimately having, like, I couldn't take anybody that was walking in from the school to get their hair cut. I was having guys come specifically to me to get their hair cut that, would reach out to me. I'd be, at work, Pensacola Pools, and, like, marketing myself and, like, texting people or putting stuff on Facebook and all that kind of stuff. Like, look, Cutting at the school tonight from 5 till 8 or whatever it was at that point in time, and come get a haircut or holler at me, and I'll set you up. I was taking appointments in school.
Which that's crazy.
What I look back at it now, I'm like, whoa, that is crazy. But in the moment, I'm like, nah, dude, I'm getting my
You're just hustling.
Yeah, I'm doing what I had to do
because you had to get a certain amount of heads cut.
You did, yeah. You have to get so many heads cut within the program along with your hours,
right?
So in my mind, I'm like, I'm knocking out all these cuts to get these services done that I have to finish the program. So.
How many people do you think you cut? And so what recurring people that showed up, like myself, in, I don't know, the third semester, the second semester. What I'm trying to do is put it into context of you started so early, you were hustling so early.
So on average, every guy gets their haircut probably we'll just say 2 weeks. That's on average. I was doing 4 cuts a night, Monday through Friday.
Holy crap.
And that was guys, and that was times that by 520. So 20 a week I was doing, so I probably had like 40 at that point in time that were legitimately reoccurring. Yeah, no,
good Lord.
And honestly, man, I've never done the math of that until we're sitting right here. So
really?
It's kind of
nuts.
Whoa.
That's unbelievable.
It's pretty cool. It was, I honestly I've never really sat back and reflected on the school days as far as what I was doing.
I'm
of
glad
course you have everybody in your ear telling you what you're doing, but I don't think about it. All I think about at that time was I just got to get through school so I can do this. And bringing the clientele that I'm cutting in school, who was not, what they would consider Pensacola State College's clientele. They were my clientele.
Right.
That's all I cared about was just making sure that I got enough practice and enough building relationships at that point in time to carry it on into whatever shop at that point. I didn't know where I was going, to cut hair as a regular basis.
And that was the next piece. Whenever you did graduate, you went to a shop here in town.
Yes.
That's now the Pensacola House of Barbers.
Yes.
How long were you there before what happened?
I was there for, a year. Yeah.
Do you not see how ridiculous that is? 1 year out of school. So 1 year out of school, you bought the place.
Yeah, 1 year out of school that I was, the gentleman, Paul, who sold me the shop was, how we talked about chances and everything like that. Nah, man, this was put in my lap for a reason. And he was one of my instructors in school. And you kind of look back, I'm like, man, he could have offered that up to anybody, honestly, you know. And it just happened that, and he maybe did. And they just didn't take it or whatever. I don't know that, but it fell in my lap.
There's a reason.
And so it was just, I was just put in the right place at the right time, and it all kind of fell into place. And when I got out of school, I was at the shop, Tuesday through Saturday usually, and then Saturday afternoons or Mondays I was usually working with my buddy Jamie Gonzalez, who has a flooring company and remodeling company. I was working with him. Because I was still I had, carried over a clientele with me, but it was still obviously not enough to equal what I was making at Pensacola Pools.
Right.
So I had to obviously do something to even it out. So I was in the shop Tuesday through Saturday, on Mondays usually, and then maybe Saturday afternoon or something like that, or, I would kind of at the beginning, I would kind of work my schedule at the shop around Jamie because he needed help and I needed money, and he was paying me a consistent amount of money, to at least help me. And then at night on the weekends, I was bouncing at one of the local clubs around here. So it was a long year.
Yeah.
The club and working with Jamie didn't last the entire year. It lasted probably, I don't know, maybe 6 months.
Because things picked up.
Yeah, because things picked up. So it was about 6 months of just that straight, almost it felt like Sunday through Sunday type of deal, nonstop doing something, to make ends meet. And it was well worth it, obviously,
So I'm going to take a little bit of a left turn. What's your definition of happiness?
That's a good one.
I know I'm hitting you with it. I don't believe that there's a correct or a wrong. I think it's very individualistic.
It's very individualistic, and I feel like we've had this conversation in this shop, but I
know, right?
Honestly can't remember what my answer was at that point in time.
It might
be totally different,
and that's fine. What is it now?
Put you on the spot.
Yeah. think about that one, man.
We'll come back to
I was
it.
like, let's come back to that one.
We'll come back to
that one because I don't know yet.
That's okay. We'll come back to it. Remind me to come back to it, Jenna.
Write it down.
We're all going to forget.
So, did you always view it like this process that you've gone through? Did you always view it as like this entrepreneur type thing, or was it just something that you were feeling pulled to do? Because, again, you have turned it into you've hired barbers, you bought the friggin' shop. I mean,
I guess I've always felt like maybe the entrepreneurship has always been a part of me, and that was instilled from my dad and like my mom and grandparents and everything like that. I mean, they like to tell this story because it's funny as heck to them. But when I was like, I don't know, maybe ages 10 through 13, probably younger than that, honestly, me and my brother Cody would work on my granddaddy's construction sites while he was building houses and whatnot. And he would pay us to clean up the construction sites. That would be like lumber and pine cones, sweep the floors and that kind of stuff, make sure the construction site was clean.
Sure.
Well, so we were getting paid to do that by him, and then what I would do is I would take the cut up lumber that they would throw away, and I would take it and bag it up into horse feed bags from the barn, and I would sell it as firewood on the side. So they say it's always been in me, and I just never had the right thing to
Sounds like it.
open it up even more.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
You've always been a hustler.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, we'll come back to the happiness question.
Yeah. Happiness.
Oh, the story. Because obviously I've never heard your story. Like, it seems like you rose up so quickly at the pool store. You've always been a hustler. That's why, to me, hearing your story, you got offered that position at the shop. That's how you gained your clientele so quickly. I mean, it's just the hustle. I think that's sustainable when you're doing something that you really, truly love.
Yeah. And it is like it's, I'll say it over and over and over again. Like, financially, I'm doing well for myself, but I mean, honestly, dude, like if I, it's one of those things, like if I won the lottery tomorrow or something and I was financially set for the rest of my life, I would still go in that shop and cut hair, because it brings more fulfillment than any dollar amount will ever come to my life. And, it took a long time to, I think, officially realize that,
Really?
But it's there. Like I that's why I work so much, because I literally enjoy it.
Yeah.
I enjoy cutting hair. I enjoy talking to my clientele. I enjoy hearing their stories of what they're doing. I enjoy meeting new clientele that, has a different background than I ever came from. And I enjoy sharing my story with them, because it is like, a lot of people want to know, like, how did I get to where I'm at, And I still don't think I'm anywhere close to what I would like to be.
So there's more.
There's always more. I mean, if there's not more, then what are you doing?
Oh,
true.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, when you stop evolving.
Yeah. That's why change is such a big gratitude to me, because if you're not continuously changing and growing, then, what's the point? You become stagnant and you don't have a story to tell at that point in time.
Well, you got a hell of a story to tell.
Thank you.
Yeah. So tell me this.
Yeah.
And just shut up and ask the question, Matt. What do you think you'd be doing if you weren't doing this? If
I wasn't cutting hair.
Yeah. So if
I wasn't sitting here at this podcast.
Yeah. I don't think you would be. We wouldn't have tied back up.
No, we wouldn't.
You wouldn't be on this podcast,
that's
because
true.
I started getting my haircut when you were in school, simply because you were there. I knew you, of course, and then I was like, oh, he can cut.
Right.
So what would you be doing? There's no right or wrong answer.
I don't know, honestly, man. I mean, because at that point in time, like I said, I was so fed up with working at the pool store, but I had no other outlets. So I didn't know where I wanted to go in life. I had no clue. I probably would have, I may still be there. Because to be honest, man, like I was very comfortable money-wise. And at that, in that type of setting, in that job, like, you have a steady paycheck. You know what you're getting each week. You're getting it, all that's done. And that was a very big fear of mine, to jump into something that wasn't guaranteed. I mean, I could have went to a shop that was salary based or commission based, so I had a little bit more of a idea of what I would make each week, and because I guess growing up in that, stable type of thing, not taking a risk was obviously what I had been in for the past 10 years and whatnot. And so that's what I was used to. But something told me to just jump out and not stay safe, essentially, take a chance pretty much. And so, but, if I was not doing this, I honestly do not know, because at that point in time, I had nothing else that was an interest. I had nothing else that was appealing to me. I knew that I couldn't go work at it the good thing about that Pensacola Pools jobs was it was a balance of office work and a balance of hands-on work. And so I knew I couldn't go to a place that was office only. Okay. Like Navy Federal and all that is one of the better things that come to our area, but there's no way in hell I could ever sit there in a cubicle all day and on a phone and on a computer. No. I would have drove myself crazy.
That ain't you.
It's not, and, I mean, to be honest, like I enjoy doing stuff with my hands, but I didn't know that at that point in time that this was me. I didn't know that I needed a hands-on type of career at the same time, because I didn't know any other things other than what I was only doing at that point in time. So, I mean, I don't have an answer for that other than I just don't know.
That's awesome. Were you surprised at your ability to learn to cut hair?
Yes.
Because obviously you picked it up very quickly.
I was. I honestly thought, I told you how me and my brother was going through the program and whatnot, and he's not cutting hair anymore. He's actually in the real estate business. Okay. Which I think he's finally found his calling and everything. But we both were, I guess, artsy, which I consider this a very artsy craft and trade. Yeah. We were both very artsy growing up, but he was definitely light years ahead of me when it came to art. Unbelievable. That man could draw whatever he could want. I mean, he was very, very good at that time. So I personally thought I would be in his shadow. Right. I don't think he ever knew that. And I'd honestly never told anybody that, but I always thought that I was going to be in his shadow, because this was more of an art-based craft and trade and everything like that. And so I thought he would take off and be, the one. And I mean, not that I wouldn't succeed, but I thought he would succeed more. Right. Honestly, he probably could have. It just wasn't his knack.
Right. Wasn't his thing.
Yeah. He didn't enjoy it as much as I did. Sure. And that's why I think he's found his enjoyment in the real estate business.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. Now, if you could go back and change something through this process, is there something that you would change or tell yourself earlier?
No, because everything that has led up to this point was for a reason. Everything that I went through, everything that I learned, everything that I did right, everything I did wrong was all for a point. So no, I would not change a thing, because it is 100% shaped me into what I've become today. And so no, there's no way. Asked me that 5 years ago, I would have had probably a list of things I would have changed. But just in 5 years of going through school and going through this professionally, no, I look back and growing a lot. I mean, I'm not old, but I'm 30 years old now, so I have had some things in life that has changed my perspective of how I look at life, and not try to. I think, in my point of view, if you say you want to change something in your life, then you're very selfish, and you don't look at life as just a long book, because I mean, if you change something, then you wouldn't be where you're at, and you're at where you're at for a reason. There's a point for me being at that point, whether it's good or bad.
I like that.
You do have art in you. You definitely do. Just the way you said that. I'm sitting all mesmerized over here. All right.
You're both artsy, but in
our own way. Yeah. That's why I feel like that's why we, rekindled. Why we have a very good vibe. That's why
we do.
When you come in, you are one of the more enjoyable haircuts I have, because we do get into more of deep talks, and we talk more than just what's going on as far as sports and everything like that, which, trust me, I love talking sports.
It's tough to get that one out of me, yeah.
But, it just brings a different, conversation to the, and I feel comfortable with Matt. I always have since day one that you started coming to the shop. So, and that's one thing that, you feel comfortable with people, but you feel more comfortable with other people, you know, in different aspects of life.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Different aspects of what you are feeling that day too.
And speaking of,
I gotta say, I was just looking at Matt and his hair. Thank you so much for cutting his hair.
Well, he is due Thursday, so don't thank me
just
yet.
But the first couple of years that Matt and I were together, as most of you know, or maybe not, Matt doesn't like to spend a lot of money, especially not on himself.
I'm working on.
Doesn't.
I am working.
And you
I'm
are.
working on that.
Yes, we've had that conversation many a time.
It's an evolution, and he's getting there. But one of the first things, if he was trying to save money, one of the first things he would do is stop going to get his hair cut. And I got to tell you, I don't share a lot of Facebook memories from the first couple years we were together, because sometimes I'm like, Matt, oh my God, why did you let your hair look like that?
I want you guys to, if you're seeing this on Instagram, Facebook, whatever, I want you to drop a comment wherever you're at. Terrible haircut, Matt. Just put that, and then that's going to be referring to this moment, so we'll know that you put that in there. Well, thank you, Jenna, for the insult. I appreciate that. And Colt, thank you for the haircuts.
There was a point. I think my favorite memory with Matt and his lack of haircuts. He had his hair like feathered and long down to his shoulders at one point.
Long.
And
we were not around each other during that time at all.
It was really long.
Yeah.
I wish you came back into his life sooner. But he was walking down the hallway at work, and he heard somebody behind him say, "Excuse me, ma'am. Yes. Ma'am, excuse me." And this person was referring to Matt because of his little Farrah Fawcett haircut. And I'm so glad that happened, because it made him cut his hair.
That happened twice, and I was like, all right, it's time. It's time.
That doesn't suit you.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
No.
All right, I'm going to come back. What's your definition of happiness?
Oh, man, dang it.
While you're... No, go ahead.
Well, I think because you can't answer what else you would be wanting to do, I think that to me answers that question for you of this is truly your happiness. If you can't picture yourself doing anything else in life, then I think that for anybody, you're in the right spot. You're in the right position in your life.
I feel that way too, because I feel like...
Is there anything more you need for happiness? Is there anything more? Is it more money? Is it more friends? Is it more family? Is it more success? Is it anything?
I mean, I would love to have more money, but I think that's just, being human. But
you think
I don't need that.
I was going to say, you don't think that'd be a direct correlation to your happiness?
I don't need it. No.
Sounds like
I'm very happy with where I am now. Obviously, I want to continue growing.
You will.
But my happiness doesn't rely on that, I guess, because I'm very happy where I'm at. And if I feel like if I continue growing, then the happiness stays with the growth. So it's like I'm at a great point in life in that sense of state of happiness, and anything else is just a bonus.
Yeah. Someone that is near and dear to both of our hearts, I want to shout out Mr. James Martin.
Yes.
If you're watching, if you're listening, we love you so much.
Very much.
James Martin is I'm honored to call him a friend.
Yeah.
He also gets his haircut with Colt, but
he's a friend, and he's become a mentor.
Yeah,
in a way,
1,000%.
And in business, and we're, I'm
forever.
Speaking for both of us, we're very grateful.
Forever indebted to you, James.
Yes.
So thank you. I really, really love you and appreciate you, man. Seriously, just wanted to give you a shout out. As we were talking about doing this podcast, I've been thinking of him the whole time.
Yeah,
I gotta weasel him on here if I can. If I can steal some of his time.
I would love to listen.
I would love to pick his
brain.
brain.
We listen to him all the time.
I know.
Listen to him every week. But I would love to listen to him more.
I rescheduled my hair appointments for when he gets cut, just so I can be around him. He's just such an awesome person, and Jenna knows him as well.
Yeah.
Love him to death.
Wonderful energy off him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to tie you up too long. Jenna, you got anything?
Well, I mean, I think kind of in summary, you realized that you were not where you were supposed to be in life.
Right.
You allowed yourself to be uncomfortable, even if it was not financially stable.
Yeah.
And you found your true happiness, which has led to your overwhelming success.
Yes.
And I think that's really important to kind of summarize this conversation, that really putting your happiness first
Right.
really brings the success.
It does.
The long-lasting success.
It does. I mean, you just talking about putting your happiness first. I mean, that goes with, putting yourself first. And I think we lose a lot of that in the hustle bustle of life, and you get wrapped up in other things that we forget that, we come first. And, even in relationships and marriages and everything like that, if you're not happy with yourself, your spouse and everyone else around you is not going to be happy.
Yep.
With you or anything. So happiness with yourself and putting yourself first and realizing what makes you happy and what keeps you driving benefits you, but it also benefits the people surrounding you.
1,000%.
I like that.
A beautiful way to wrap it up. So guys, what we're going to do is we're going to put all of Colt's contact information in the YouTube description, and also this podcast, wherever you're listening to it, in that description. But if you want to, do you want to plug anything? Are you doing anything? Is anything happening? Tell them. Where's it located?
It's located off of Olive Road, 2011 East Olive Road, Pensacola, 32514.
Yeah, we'll plug all your social. Tell them what's your social media information.
Social media is Instagram. It's just Pensacola House of Barbers for the shop. Colt Walden for my personal Instagram. Facebook, same thing. Colt Walden, Pensacola House of Barbers. Pretty simple. We try to keep it very simple so you don't forget it. And website is PensacolaHouseofBarbers.com.
Yeah, and Matt's repping.
Yeah, he's repping an OG.
Yeah, I love this
that's
shirt. So comfortable.
OG shirt.
Love this
back
shirt.
in the day before the House of Barbers was a thing.
I need to get an updated shirt, by the way. But
Yeah, you do.
we will stop talking the ears off of you guys. But I was extremely excited, and I didn't doubt one bit that you would hold the conversation so well. So thank you. I appreciate you, brother.
Thank you, guys. I've been looking forward to it, and hopefully come back on later day.
1,000%.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll check in on you in 3 months when you've made more massive success. And we'll talk about that. Well, guys, in closing, again, thanks, Jenna. Just be brave and chase it. Be willing to be uncomfortable and
hustle.
And hustle it. Hustle it like Colt has. We love you, brother.
Love you too, guys.
You guys, we'll talk to you next week.
This has been the Better Than Yesterday Everyday Podcast. We want to thank you for listening and invite you to subscribe to the show as well. And follow Matt Lane Fitness on YouTube. Until next time, you don't have to be perfect. Just be better than yesterday every day.